we want to do now is that we want to actually have a view, the fourth view, meaning that this is the final view, whereby we will summarize. So what are the selection that we have actually chosen, okay, for each of the page. So I'm going to close the window first. Okay. Okay, now for the fourth view, okay, here, okay, we are not going to use a user control. Okay, we are not going to use a user control. Okay, there is a good reason for this. Okay, because okay, when we use user controls here, so basically there is no easy way for you to pass the values that you have created in one user control to another user control. Okay, there is a way, but the programming will be quite long, so it is not worth it for us to do so. So but if we actually write within the form itself, and for in the form actually we actually take values from the controller, then it is not a difficult thing to do. But between controller to controller, it is a very lengthy coding that you need to do, and it is not worth the time for using user controls. So basically what we are going to do now is that for the view 4, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to actually type, okay, whatever ASP.NET or HTML tag within this v4. I'm not going to use a web user control. Okay, now the first thing is that I want to put in some form of header. Okay, okay, let's say that I choose H1, or perhaps this is too strong. So perhaps I'm going to put in a paragraph. Okay, now we want put in some bold. Okay, basically I do not, in the real application, okay, when you do your assignments, I do not advise you to put in the strong, so use CSS. But in this example, I'm not going to use CSS, okay, because the focus is not on the CS. So I'm going to put in strong. Strong is actually a bold. Okay, this is a boldface. Now this is a summary. Okay, this is supposed to be the header. Okay, now next, let's say that we have the questions just now. Okay, if we go, okay, I'm going to take this part. Okay, do you belong to a gym? Okay, I'm going to copy this. Okay, we want to take this question. Okay, go here. Okay, okay, so perhaps this is not needed. Okay, I'm going to paste this. Okay, Control KD. Do you belong to a gym? Okay, for web user control 2, okay, the question is that how do you stay in shape? So I'm going to copy the whole of this paragraph, copy, and I'm going to paste this here. Okay, let me scroll down. Okay, and the third one, the question is that how do you exercise? Okay, how do you exercise? So this is the question, so I'm going to copy the whole of this paragraph, go to our survey form, and paste this here. Okay, so this is, you see this one. Okay, this is the summary. So we are going to put in the answer either next to it or at the bottom. Okay, so basically for this, okay, what we are going to do is that we are going to put a certain label. Okay, now do you belong to a gym? So we want to extract whatever that either yes or no. How do you stay in shape? We want to take in actually the listing that we have selected, and how often do you exercise. So this is the item here. So what we are going to do is that we are going to actually use a label. So I'm going for to the source here. Okay, so basically the label will be next to the question. Okay, do you belong to a gym? Okay, now I'm going to actually drag and drop a label here. Okay, now by default this is label 1, so I'm going to rename this as LBL, let's say result 1. Okay, LBL result 1 will store the value whether it is a yes or is a no. Okay, do you belong to a gym? It's a yes or it is a no. Okay, and the text, okay, I'm going to put in uh, okay, just empty. Okay, so meaning that we have empty text, or perhaps we can delete this. So basically, because when there's no answer, we wouldn't want anything to be displayed. Okay, so if you look at the design, okay, here something like this, but when you run, this will not appear. Okay, similarly, okay, I can copy. Okay, I can copy this. Okay, let me actually unpin this. Okay, this is quicker. I'm going to copy the whole of this line. So how do you stay in shape? Okay, so here uh, okay, and the third one, how often do you exercise? Okay, I'm going to rename or change the ID for the second one. So this would be LBL result 2, and the third one would be LBL result 3. Okay, now if you scroll, okay, now this is the answer is next to this. Okay, and at the bottom of this, we are going to actually create two buttons. One is for previous, the other is actually to submit. Of course, at this point of time, okay, the submit button will not be of any use, but perhaps when we have learned about database, we are going to reuse this particular exercise, whereby whatever selection that we do will be stored in a database. So that we will do it later, okay, in a few weeks time. So basically, if we are to run this, okay, this is actually not finished yet. Okay, you can see. Okay, there's no button here, so we need to actually add some buttons here. Okay, so this is so. Okay, now for the button, okay, let us go to the source. Okay, now for the button, I'm going to add a paragraph. Okay, let me get the toolbox again. Look for the button. So what we need is we need two buttons. This is the first one, and we need a second button next to it. Okay, now the first button, this is go back, meaning that previous. So I'm going to name this as BTN previous. Okay, now the text is previous. Okay, now the second button, let's say that we want to put in submit. Okay, this is submit, the submit button. Okay, and okay, sorry, the ID would be BTN submit, and the text, let's say that we choose this to be something of like this. Okay, we go submit, or this is a survey. Let's say that we put in submit survey. Okay, okay, now for this btn submit, it does nothing at this point of time, but for the previous, okay, we need to add the command name. Okay, now the command name, similarly, okay, go and look for the command name. Where is the command name? Okay, okay, let's say that command okay, command name equals to just now this is preview. Okay, so this is, so if we scroll, okay, you can see that this is previous and this is submit survey. Okay, and similarly, because this is too close to each other, okay, let me actually enter this, unpin. Okay, so I'm going to add this ampersand NBSP, then another one ampersand NBSP. This is for spacing. Okay, so this is something that we have. Okay, now let us just run. So still we are not finished because we haven't touched anything on the C# code. So I'm going to actually run this. Say, do you belong to a gym? No. Click next. Okay, jogging, swimming, team sports. Click next. Let's say that we select 4 to 6 times per week. We have next. Okay, this is submit survey. Of course, nothing happens here. So this is previous. So meaning that we can go back to what we have entered from the beginning. Okay. Okay, so what we haven't done is that now there's nothing, no information, the answers has not been actually displayed here. So here we have the LBL result 1, LBL result 2, and LBL result 3. So basically, let us actually write some codes.